Right, how's it going?
Fred with Fort Mason. How are you?
How are you? Yeah, somebody spoke to me yesterday.
Right.
And they told me it was illegal to hand out flyers in a national park in a public right of way.
Right.
Which is, and I checked that.
Right.
And the Supreme Court has ruled that that is not the case.
Okay. Well, the reason that we asked people not to flyer is because of the basically, the waste that it generates, and also because for the vendors who have rented space here
inside there, not out here.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. This is. I mean, if I the people who are at the there's a farmers market there. They don't pay them $10 to get in, and it's freely accessible here. This is public right of way.
Right. I totally hear you, and I think the best solution is to actually go outside the gates.
And I disagree because this is public property. This is it's. This is the definition of protected free speech.
Right. I hear you. And I'm fine having you here.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And you can talk to tons of people,
including flyering, because that is also protected under the First Amendment.
Unfortunately,
and you may have a policy.
Yeah.
I will be flyering, and there's a Supreme Court ruling on that as well.
Okay.
It's protected free speech. It is Justice Roberts, 1939. It's Hague versus CIO. And this is the public commons. This is the forum, which has always been the case. Highways and parks especially.
Okay.
And I was told yesterday by, I think it was Linda, perhaps. Linda said it was illegal to hand out flyers in a public park, and she said that there was some law, and she threatened to get me arrested, called a cop on me, and she just pulled it out of her wherever she pulls things out of, and it was a lie, and I resent that.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to talk to an officer, and if I can get ticketed or arrested, that'd be wonderful, because my lawyer loves stuff like this.
Right.
It's just wonderful. I mean, it's such a cut and dried case. It'll be wonderful. So I'm not budging, and I'm happily passing out flyers.
Okay, so what we'll probably do then is we'll set up an area for you.
No, I'm staying here.
I didn't say you had to move.
Yeah.
But we'll probably just set up a free speech area for you, and what that'll do is
the entire park is a free. I mean, this is something that Bush dreamed up. These little, I mean, you really. It is ludicrous.
I'm just following what I've been told, and that's basically that we have policies in place for a reason, and that
you get a policy. Well, actually, here's the thing. So, if this is protected speech, so you could then say, your shoes probably have a logo on them, right? So that is advertising the manufacture of those shoes. I see Nissan over there. And so on. You'll have to get rid of every single car, every single person with a logo on their clothes, and they would all beat you in court. And so that's the position. If you want to fence me off, that will be ridiculous. I'll just move out of the fenced area and go to somewhere. I mean, you can keep following me around with a fence, but it'll make you look very, very silly.
Okay.
So
what I'm hearing from you is that you're
I'm staying. I'm not budging. I'm standing up for my rights.
And you definitely want to continue flying, handing out stuff to people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you think I could get your name's Patrick again?
Yeah, Patrick Roddy, R-O-D-D-I-E. You can write that down.
Oh, I will, yeah. Where's my pen?
And you can reach me through my website as well. I got this thing here. But...
R-O-D-D-I?
I-E.
R-E.
And my mobile is 415.
Excellent, thank you. That was my next question.
So I'd like to. I mean, if I could speak to Linda again, I want to find out what law that she would. I mean, she wouldn't get pinned down and say, "Oh, here's this thing," and she was just basically lying.
Right. Well, to be fair, I was in the conversation with our supervisor that we were kind of discussing this.
Yeah.
And so, if anything, it was our supervisor that was misinformed. So. Granted, that's not a better answer, but at least it wasn't just.
It was false, and he called the cops on called the cops on me, and I'd be happy to speak to an officer and I mean get his badge number, and I can drag everyone to court.
We're working it out. Actually, he's talking with Sergeant. We're trying to figure out exactly where we're at right now.
Because this area is not exclusively rented by this, even if, and it's still a national park, which is federal land, which is protected by the First Amendment and the Supreme Court ruling from 1939.
And I think that's where we're coming from, is that this is federal land and we've been charged with protecting it, and so part of that is being environmentally aware and asking people not to.
No one dropped any. They're all great. They're at a green festival. They're litter bugs at a green festival.
Right.
No, I don't see it. I didn't see one thing drop.
Right. No, I'm just telling you that's the reasoning that we have behind it. But to my understanding, that's
but
the
that
reason,
if that's a policy, if that's a written policy, that is highly unconstitutional, and it is null and void from Marbury versus Madison for all laws that are prima facie unconstitutional are null and void. So there is you would be remiss and I got case locked the wazoo, and the ACLU is on board with this as well.
Okay. And so, just to continue what you said is that you're going to continue flyering, and that if we created a free speech area, you would move out of it.
Yeah, I'll just move around. Yeah. Okay. So I'm exercising my First Amendment rights, which are very clear and set up by the Supreme Court. You know, well, actually, the founders, and in fact, the founders, used handbills. It's just
Well, I understand, but it's different times for
different times.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So, all right.
Anyway,
well, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Here you go. There you go.
And I'm sure I'll follow up with you.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, Fred.
Fred Lopez, event supervisor. Awesome.
Yep.
Great.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate
that. I love it like that.
This is,
no, I'm Irish.
The essence of First Amendment.
I mean, giving out flyers in a national park? Really?
I have a really hard time imagining that they would come out here and debate this with you.
I know.
The so-called green thing.
And they're also saying, oh, well, if you give someone else a flyer and they litter, it's on me. That's like blaming the tree for hate speech for something, somebody printed on it.
If somebody accepts something from you, you're not forcing them to take it.
No, not at all.
Accept it from you. It's their responsibility once they have it.
Yeah.
The idea of somehow following a pathway to littering, as if let's go to the store where somebody buys a bottle of water and then chastise them ahead of time that you can't throw this away anywhere and litter. It's stupid.
So.
That was wonderful. Thank you very much for that.
I love doing that. I'm Irish, and yesterday they tried to get me off here with colour of law, and they were very vague about why the policy or it's against the law and stuff. And an officer came and backed her up, even though she couldn't quote any law.
The cops on you yesterday.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I'm really hoping I get cited or arrested, because then I can get him for assault and battery and false imprisonment.
Was it a city cop, or was
it's a
US
park police, which have the same powers.
Right. They're sort of like, they're more akin to an FBI agent in a strange way. They go to FBI training, but it doesn't give them any more knowledge of national law.
Yeah, but they still can't falsely arrest you on a made-up law.
Oh yeah, no. Well, no,
and if you do, it's great. I mean, it's great publicity, you know, because I can say. So,
thanks for that. I really appreciate listening to that. No, you don't
again, the thing is, I'm Irish, and it takes a lot to piss me off.
Well, Americans don't understand their First Amendment right, for one thing.
Yeah.
They don't realize that, in a lot of cases, that the only language that's important is language you disagree with.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with language we all know and agree with.
If I went out saying, ice cream is nice, kittens are cute.
Absolutely. That's the kind of free speech. Nobody's ever going to debate that with you, but
that's why I defend the ACLU. They get a lot of flack for going against the most heinous, like Klan and stuff.
We have to have
you have to have that. You have to have that.
It's the First Amendment's nothing without that.
Yeah. So anyway, it was fun.
I appreciate it. You gave me a good.
I'll stick around. There'll be more. Yeah.
If I hear any screaming, I will be out there. I'll support you.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much. All right. Cool. Recording.
Sergeant Blair with the U.S. Park Police.
Hi. How are you?
How you doing, sir?
Good.
What's your name?
Patrick Roddy. Roddie.
Okay, Patrick.
Yeah.
So. You can be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's your First Amendment right.
Yeah.
To talk to people and everything like that. But it's the policy of the Fort Mason Center and the GGRA that you don't hand out flyers.
Well, the Supreme Court would differ on that.
No.
Actually, I have a.
It's in the Golden Gate National Recreation Compendium, you need a permit to hand out flyers, and also policy of the Fort Mason Center. It's strictly in their guidelines too.
Well,
to hand out
if you
flyers.
hang on, so
okay.
If I
So you can talk to people, you can have your sign, you just can't hand out the flyers. Okay?
Well, actually, that's protected First Amendment. Sorry, I have to find my. What happened to my phone? Okay, so.
Are the rules different at Fort Mason than they are at the Presidio, as far as this goes?
No.
All right,
Same
so.
You need a permit to hand out printed material.
Yeah. Well, it was arrested at the Presidio.
Okay, so like from Justice Owen Roberts in Hague versus CIO 1939, wherever the title of streets and parks may apply, they have immemorially held in trust for the use of public and time out of mind have been used for the purposes of assembly, communicating thoughts between citizens and discussing public questions, right? So further down, where are we? Sorry. Yeah, sidewalk picketing and handing out leaflets is perfectly permissible since they generally do not cause traffic problems. A permit is not required. A law requiring people to give a permit for such non-disruptive activity is likely to be unconstitutional. That's also the Supreme Court.
Well, I don't think the National Park Service compendium, they would write a law that's not
Oh, absolutely. There's plenty of laws that are unconstitutional. And all laws that are unconstitutional, according to Marbury versus Madison, are null and void. So, I mean...
Okay, well, I'm not gonna debate Supreme Court rulings with you.
Well, it's the law.
No, it isn't.
It is the law.
It's the law, the GGRA, that printed material needs a permit.
You have a policy,
it's a Fort
maybe.
Mason. No, it's not. It's in the 2.51, 36 CFR.
Well, that needs to be challenged then.
Well, you can challenge it in court. Okay? But I'm telling you, you can't hand out printed material. Okay? You can have your sign, you can talk to people, but you're not going to hand out the flyers. Okay?
So, and if I continue, you can cite me or arrest me?
Yeah.
You can cite me then. And so my lawyer would love that.
Yeah, but you should ask them first if they're going to take your material away from you. You know.
Why
then
would
it's
they?
a moot point. Well, if they take
we're not just going to cite you and let you be here, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
You'll have to leave the area. We'll cite you and you'll leave the area.
And if I don't leave?
Then you'll be arrested.
Oh, and then I get an assault and battery charge.
No, you'll probably get abandoned barred. That's what they did to me, and then I got a job right at on the Presidio, right after I was banned and barred. So obviously, it doesn't mean anything. I got arrested and banned and barred at the 50 years of end of peace in the Pacific because I took a banner down there. They were bringing the USS Missouri in.
Yeah.
I said USS Missouri equals 500 Hiroshimas. It was a big public celebration. And I said, well, I didn't know anybody else was coming, but anyway, one guy, they had undercover cops everywhere, and they ended up arresting me and another guy who volunteered to help me hold the banner. But it was thrown out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was thrown out. I mean, they found me guilty, and then it went. I appealed, and then it was thrown out.
Okay.
Or else I was found.
Patrick.
Oh, hi there.
Hey, Patrick. I'm
Hi there.
Steer with Fort Mason. We spoke yesterday.
How's it going? Yeah.
Good to
How's
see
it going?
you.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the flyering, I mean, it is mainly kind of an environmental concern of ours.
Yeah.
So,
the people here are all greens, and none of them are going to litter.
So I'm going to suggest maybe a practical solution for today. If we were to provide you with maybe a recycling bin, a blue recycling bin, if anyone does want to dispose of the flyers, they could just throw it in that, and then we'll have someone pick it up and ensure that's recycled
perfect.
at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Does that seem like a decent solution for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool. We'll have someone take care of that.
Right.
All right.
Very
Thanks
good.
very much.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, sorry to keep you. Could you tell me the name of that the code about the flyering?
36 CFR.
36 CFR.
2.51.
2.51.
Printed material.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Cool. And would that be on the park website?
It's on there. Yeah.
Okay.
And also you can just Google 36 CFR. It's
Okay.
Code of Federal Regulations.
Yeah, that sounds like it needs to be challenged. For sure. But,
all right.
All right. Great. Thanks so much. All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I always stand by if somebody's getting harassed by the police.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, they were cool. I mean, they tried to throw me out yesterday. They made up. It sounded like they're making stuff up, saying, "Oh, there's policy. There's this, that, there's that." I'm like, yeah, no. But this is. The Supreme Court's very clear about it.
I mean, this happens if you just stand your ground.
Yeah.
in a respectful way, it works out.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that. Way to go.